What's up, Raza? This is episode 1 of the Valley Vibes podcast. And joined with me today is my little brother, Carlos Roman.
Hi. Oh, yeah. I love the sound effects. This is great.
And my name is David Roman, but you guys can call me Roman because everybody and their mama knows like 10 Davids. Thanks, Mom.
Jeez, such a common name.
Yeah, so I tell everybody to call me Roman now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to be known as. So
I like it. I like it.
full circle.
Yeah.
Full circle. So I wanted to have you as my first guest because you have a total of how many podcasts?
Episodes? Ooh, I got to look back.
I mean, yeah, how many episodes? You have at least 20, right?
I have at least 20, definitely.
Oh, shit! That's a lot.
I love that. Yeah. I think I think I surpassed 30, I think.
30?
I think so. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but I do have a couple. But it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I admire that a lot because you are definitely very confident.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't like really care about what other people say.
You shouldn't.
I love that you think like that because this to me was like kind of like difficult to start. And even like right now, I know I'm gonna learn on the way, but I'm at a point in my life now where I don't care. I just want to do things that I want to do. And I looked at you as big inspiration because you have videos all over YouTube. You have videos all over TikTok. And also you've been in theater and band. Mm-hmm. You're perfectly fine and comfortable being in front of the camera.
Yeah, it's not a problem. The way you view me now is the way the camera's going to view me. You know what I mean? Like,
you're not insecure at all.
Yes and no. I mean, there are some points where I could look better, but I'm not here to impress anyone. Mm-hmm. I'm here to be me. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the most this is the most the best thing about you. Like the most sexiest thing about you is the fact that your confidence, you know?
Yeah.
That's the most attractive thing of you. You know, the way I think about it is simply just, I could, there's surgery you can do to make your face look a little better or, get some sort of jobs on something, right? Mm-hmm. Change your voice or something, there's surgery. You can change all that for money, but this is how I was, this is how I was born. This is who I am today. And if someone doesn't like me because of my appearance, right? That's them, whatever, I don't need that in my life, and then someone else likes me because of who I am. That's going to bring me joy. That's going to keep me happy. Right. And being in front of a camera, like a lot of people it's funny because cameras never bothered me. Mm-hmm. Right. But it bothers so many people. Right.
I'm one of those or was one of those. I think self-confidence, I think, is something a lot of people deal with.
A lot of people struggle with,
and public speaking.
Yeah.
Hold up. I kind of want to go back real quick.
Yeah.
And back to high school. So you've been in band and theater growing up. And to me, you couldn't pay me enough money to perform.
That's weird. Yeah.
And, but I love how that's your thing. So how did you get started, like being on stage and performing? Because you've been in San Joaquin Delta College art shows or theater shows.
Theater shows, yeah.
And then you've even been in arenas, which I've gone and seen you, and you honestly amaze me. It's really impressive. Just you and the whole production, the whole crew, the costumes, everything, like the characters you guys play, and how it's all live and instant. I love it. So take me back. Like, how did you get into theater, art? Band, like, did you like it? Like, you started in band, then you went to theater. Walk us through that.
Band, not too much went into it. Really, just I guess I grew out of my shelf then because I kind of needed to. Because when you're a part of a team, you need to communicate with your team. Mm-hmm. So when I joined band in junior year, that's really when I had a team. Right, I had my other saxophones that I got to perform with. So. We get together, we talk, and you may see them as performers, actors, whatever, but they're people too. You know what I mean? Everyone has opinions, feelings, things like that. So you shouldn't really view them as performers or just other people following their dreams, really. Ever since, remember Smosh?
And yes. Than the OG
and,
YouTubers.
Yeah, and Niga Higa.
Yes.
Them two have really like, especially Ryan Higa. Like, I don't know what's with his brain, but every time I watch one of his videos, he's always just talking to the camera, and then he has like skits, right? Planned out comedy skits. And same thing with Smosh. You know, they don't exactly talk to the camera, but they have all these skits that they do, right? And all these videos, and I'm just like, you know, that's something I want to do. Mm-hmm. You know, I've always wanted to do. That's really what like really got me into like acting.
So was Smosh and Ryan Higa, would you say like your biggest influences?
Inspirations.
Inspirations. The OG YouTubers.
OGs.
Then
yes.
you're young because I'm 26.
Yeah.
You're 19.
I'm 19. Yeah.
And they're OG YouTubers. They're like, I think like 10 years ago. No, is it 10 years ago? When were they like very popular? It's got at least over 5.
Mm-hmm. No, they were like Smosh was the first YouTube channel to reach 10 million. That was back in like 2012.
For you to remember that blows my mind. No. So you grew up with YouTube like I did. Because we never had cable. We never had cable. We didn't have
we didn't have Nick. We didn't have Disney. We didn't have none of that.
And we never were really into professional sports, except for when Mexico. Except when Mexico plays.
And that's it. And even football, like we just watched whoever was playing.
Yeah, Super Bowl or whatever, like exactly. A classic. But
we just grew up with that in cartoons. You know,
YouTube,
with Naruto, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon,
anime.
You know. Yeah, exactly. So,
and so you watching these YouTubers growing up, it's just, hey, this is something I want to do for fun.
Yeah, knowing that they made money off of it just by, you know, acting that kind of way, you know, like that's always stuck with me. You know, I'm just like, wow, people make money. Nowadays, content's crazy now. You know, there's so much out there, so it's kind of hard to be like original. But once you become original, it stands out. You know, like they're gonna be like, oh, I've never seen this before.
Yeah,
you know, that's where it makes you really stand out. But yeah, no, Ryan Higa and Smosh have definitely been my biggest influences. Them just what looks like being themselves, but really they were playing characters, right? So that's kind of what acting is. You know, you're always just playing a character. So that really got me very much into acting, into theater. Sadly, I couldn't really do many productions because our team wasn't as big compared to a college.
Like in Tokay?
Yeah, in Tokay, because there was a total of like basically like I want to say like 15 people like for everything.
Oh.
And if you notice like for example like the cast list, right? That's only a portion of the people. Like you see 10, 15 names on that list, right? That's already 15 jobs, right? And then now you have like another like 2 times that amount or another 15, 20 people doing lights, doing cameras, or the lighting, the sound effects, costume designs, the director, assistant director, stage manager, assistant stage manager. So there's so much that goes behind the scenes.
Kind of like all the ending credits in like a movie.
Oh,
like you know how at the end all you see is like all these names after every show. So people don't really. We just look at like the main actors, or whoever we see on camera, but we don't think about all those things you just mentioned.
Yeah, because it's not the actors who made that story. It's the director's like picture of the story, you know,
screenwriters.
So, exactly. You know, so there's so many jobs behind the camera. So you really, once you get in it, you appreciate it a lot more, you know, kind of like how, quick example, like, you know, like when you saw like my videos, right, on YouTube, you see just me and somebody else in front of a camera. We're just talking, right?
Yeah.
But right now you spent like a good 20, 30 minutes just trying to set this all up.
Yeah.
You know?
So, this is the first official episode. I had like one ghost episode with, my friend Jose, shout out to him, but it was only audio.
Yeah.
And with audio, it's a lot easier because it's just like 2 mics, right? But with cameras, you got to deal with lighting, memory cards, recording, angles. And like, if I do this correctly, there should be 1 cut, 2 cuts, and 3 cuts.
And then, you know, throughout the episode going back and forth from them. So
yeah, so
there's a bit of editing, you know.
This is definitely going to be a learning experience, but I definitely I'm a very curious person and I like having good conversation.
Oh yeah. That's the whole reason why I started the podcast.
And I just want to invite people that are passionate about what they do, or entrepreneurs, or like even like small business owners, and just like maybe learn, discuss ideas, and just spread positivity.
You definitely have the same outlook as I do. That's the whole reason why I got into the same podcast, was because even though I started when I was 16, 17, like, yeah, somewhere right there, right? I definitely had so much to talk about, and there's everyone has a different look on a lot of different things, so I wanted to hear everyone's story, even how they treat themselves and how they keep themselves like positive and stuff. How do they do it? How do they get through some things, because I would usually even a phone call with a friend or something, right? You can go on, because I feel like everyone's had like that 3 a.m. call, or like a 2 a.m. call where you're just up for hours just talking to this one person
about life or
just
anything. Yeah, really. Just having
it could be about
good
life.
conversation.
It could be about anything. It could, their future, like what they plan on doing, who they plan on being with, like what they're trying to do later on, so everyone's just had that kind of conversation. So after I've had it a couple times, I'm just like, it'd be really, really cool to just like record it and look back on it. And also, if someone else heard it, maybe their vision of something can definitely change, so it's not only just for the 2 people or the X amount of people who are talking, but also to anybody who's listening, to start, like if someone's thinking about starting a podcast but they're shy and insecure about it, just say, play with it. You know what I mean? Just try it out. Just see how it goes first. Not saying go ahead and buy all this kind of equipment. It's more just like get in front of a camera, just start talking to one another, and then if you enjoy it, upgrade, go with it, keep on going, and then see where it takes you.
I think the hardest step sometimes is just pressing record.
Oh, definitely.
Or just like a lot of people dream or have these ideas and visions, but they never take action. And I just told myself I don't want to live in doubt. Like I don't want to live in what ifs.
Yeah.
And you and even if this doesn't go anywhere, I think this is going to be really cool to look back in 5-10 years.
You can at least say you tried.
I tried. And I'm just saying for the future selves.
Yeah.
Because I look at our little picture. You're taller than me. You're grown up. Like you're my baby brother. And shout out to Ricky.
Yeah.
That's our middle brother. So
my older, his little.
Yeah. But because we had I remember you had me as your first guest on your podcast. And
I still remember vividly, like taking everything out. I had the mics, I had the headphones. I remember taking it all out and I just wanted to play with it.
Yeah. And I remember you put the bed against the wall. Like you worked with all the little space you had, and you made your podcast. And
that's a great point, is you don't need a studio. You don't need like all these, you see these high end videos and you see all this production, but you really don't need that kind of stuff. You just need what you have, work with what you got, and then from there just upgrade. If you enjoy it, keep on going.
I love the positivity and like your confidence. Like I can see that, everybody sees that, and it really shows when you perform. So what's your favorite thing about being on stage?
The fact that I'm never on stage.
Explain that.
So it's a weird mentality. But I've never viewed going on stage as myself. You know what I mean? I think I tried to explain to you before, but it's a weird mentality thing where when you go on stage, unless you're doing like some sort of like speech or something, you're never gonna go on for yourself. Whenever you go on stage, you're always going to play a different character. You're always playing someone who you're not in real life. Like literally my very first like role on stage was literally this scared, like the star of a play who's apparently banned from this theater. And when this badass guy comes in, I had to scream from the top of my lungs and out of the stage. Right. That I would never do in real life. Right. But I'm acting. I'm an actor. So I gotta act like this person. I gotta be scared of this one guy. I gotta act like I'm a star, and then next minute I have to be scared of this tough guy with a sword. You know what I mean? So that's another thing too about acting, is there's definitely a lot of things that go behind the scenes that you don't really realize. Because I mean, you can just look at an actor and be like, oh, they're just saying words, they're just, anybody can do that. You know what I mean? But you have to really sell it. Actors takes days reading over their lines and fully understanding what they're doing or what they're saying.
Well, just on that, like when you guys have a show coming up, you guys practice for months.
Yeah, typically my very first show, we practiced for 2 months and then we performed for 6 days.
Yeah. 6 days straight, right?
No, we had Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We had a whole week.
Oh, got it.
We had 3 days off. And then on Thursday, we had a brush up.
What's a brush up?
Brush up is basically, since we have so many days off, we go through the show like really fast one time without any like costume changes, just literally just for our lines to get it back in our head.
Yeah.
And typically we do this thing called an Italian run, where basically you just speed through it. You say your lines really fast. You don't even act. You just say your lines so you know your lines.
Yeah.
Then, we get that done in an hour. We call it a day, and then 3 more shows, and then we're good. Which is why I'm kind of like trying to go to a different theater, because I don't mind working for that long, but we did the same amount of time. We did roughly like 2 months for the other show that I did in the Stockton Civic Theater. We did roughly 2 months, 2 months and a half roughly, and we performed for a whole month. And we did Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday times 4, 16 shows, and we did the same amount of time. So I'd rather work for that long, 2 months, 2 months and a half, and perform 16 times rather than work on it for 2 months, 2.5, and only work, 6 shows,
Yeah.
So, what's it called? So that's kind of why I just perform it that way,
And those bigger shows, are there fewer around here in Stockton and Lodi because it's a smaller city, or is it because are they more exclusive to the bigger cities, or how do you get your foot in the door for like those bigger shows?
Yes and no. Luckily, a lot of them are like public, so anybody can just audition. They don't charge nothing, right? All they charge is actually seeing the performance. So I haven't really seen too many theaters. There's a lot of kid theaters here. There's Kudos, and there's like the youth theater in Lodi.
What's kid theater, like under 18?
Under like 13.
Oh, under
like
13.
kids, like probably the oldest is like 15 or so, 16, so.
And like those are for like, do they pay them to like send them to LA or to like be in commercials, or what?
I have not heard of anybody who's like performed here and like got sent to LA. But this is basically like a stepping stone, a lot of the times. In LA, you have to be good, otherwise you're not making it, and
that's big time.
Yeah. That's the one thing that's like not exactly a problem, but that's the thing that a lot of people struggle with here or in the acting industry, is that if you can't get through that one big step of getting accepted, it's going to be hard for you, One great example, I think this about this story, like Kevin Hart, he's been doing comedy. He's been doing acting for many, many years. And it wasn't until he got into a big, I don't know exactly which like movie. I think it was like his first stand-up or so that was on Netflix or so, that really brought him into the right. Like now you see him left and right. You see him in movies left and right.
Selling out stadiums.
Exactly. So it's like you can be doing this for years. And a lot of people struggle. Like people, you don't get your first break until you get like supporting or a major role or a fan favorite role. Eventually, once the show goes on, right? So, and a lot of things don't happen overnight, especially this kind of stuff.
I love your awareness around that. Because I feel like we're such an instant like culture, like instant satisfaction, like with like DoorDash, Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Like we're so used to like things instantly happening. And also success, but that's I think that's a bad habit we're developing, because good things take time. Like I feel like a career like you're talking about, a good physique, like a good healthy body. Like you can't just get fit from one day to another. You got to put in work, usually months, years.
If success was so easy, then everybody would have it. Then it would just be less value to success.
Exactly.
So the fact that it does take this long just makes it that much more valuable. Exactly. So It's just really hard, and a lot of people like a lot of people have delusions. Like I don't know exactly the count on how many homeless there are in LA, but I bet you can just walk up any like street and you just see tons of homeless people thinking they were gonna make it.
Yeah,
but they don't, because they don't fit the role, and they don't bring enough to the table. Something, it's always something, and. It's tough. And it's not for everyone either. That's the thing too. Is it's not for everyone, because you can't have. Because like, for example, like anybody can be a cashier. Anybody can learn how to cook and stuff like that, right? Anybody can be stocking for a shelf in some food mart or Walmart or something, right? Anybody can do that.
Entry level jobs.
Yeah, but not everybody can just like act like they're dying and then also act like they're not everyone can act different way, you know what I mean? Not everybody. And then there's also like keeping it consistent too, because a lot of people don't understand that acting's not you. Again, it's a whole different character. And one actor I really, really admire is I almost said Captain Jack Sparrow. What's his name? Johnny Depp. There you go.
Johnny Depp. Why are you a fan of Johnny Depp?
Because like one big thing, like for example, he plays this in Pirates of the Caribbean. He plays this pirate, right? He has some funny lines. He looks like this warrior. He's badass.
Yep.
But then he's in this other movie called Edward Scissorhands, and he's a whole different character. He doesn't say anything throughout the movie, but yet people still find it entertaining.
Yeah.
People still find it like amusing. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of why I want to get to acting, because it's the more expanding you can get, the better of an actor you can be, because one movie you can play the main role where you're this badass, then the next movie you're playing some goofy 14-year-old. Next movie you're playing this bad guy who's trying to rob a bank, and then FBI, open up. I like that. But it's just so there's so many characters, and as long as you know how to understand a character and how to say lines instead of how to act out lines instead of saying lines, right? If you know the difference between that, how to also use your body, because it's not all about acting and just saying words. It's also about how do you carry yourself. You know what I mean? Because someone who's trying to rob a bank is not going to be the same person who's going to be just walking in to get some money or something.
Yeah.
Right? Just getting some money out of their account and then going right out to enjoy lunch or something. You know what I mean? Like you don't carry the same way, right? You're a lot more aware about your surroundings. You're looking more for cameras. You're trying to get it in and out,
Almost paranoid.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So you have to understand yes, you got to understand what the difference is between the two. So that's why I give a lot of props to a lot of big actors who, put in time. And again, one thing I love hearing too, which I haven't heard enough of, but I do need to hear more, are actors on podcasts.
Oh, like on interviews, or
basically
just having normal conversations?
No, preferably normal conversations, because if you notice, and a lot of actors say this too, is all the interviews they get are almost the same thing, because they all get asked, oh, so how's it like playing this character? Oh, how much money do you make? You know what I mean? And like I remember Dwayne The Rock Johnson was saying, like, he gets asked the same thing, and that's why he doesn't like doing interviews, because he just asks the same thing. He wants to get asked something different.
Not just seen as an actor, but like as a person.
Exactly.
I see.
Yeah. So because like maybe the first few ones are going to be cool because like this is something new, right? But when someone just asks you the same question over and over and over again,
very repetitive.
It's going to be boring. Yeah. So, so knowing how to understand, how to play, and how to act a character is how you're going to get through, and the hardest part is getting gigs, really.
Since you're like in this industry, you're about it, you're very, you like, you're invested in it. Can you tell me, like, share with me, what are some like traits of like, or like characteristics, or I don't know, like just some things that these good actors have, or like that you think that you have to work on if you want to be known, like do good in theater or in plays or anything?
Confidence. I think that's the biggest thing I can really say to that, because actually, confidence, yes, but also, your humbleness in a way.
Elaborate.
By what I mean of it is because there's what I learned as well in theater and like, and almost in anything too. There's a thin line between confidence and cockiness. You know, there's people who think who believe in themselves, who like, I'm going to do this, and there's people who are like, oh, I know I'm going to do this, no problem, without actually doing success. You know, so once you bring that delusion where like, oh, I got this, you know, no problem, whatever, you know, that's when you start failing. You know what I mean? And then once
or
you
fall off.
Yeah, because if you're confident, right, even if you don't make it, you try for the next one. You know, you're not, because you know, you say something. You say, if I tell you I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna make it. Give me a month, I'm gonna make it. You don't see success, you're gonna think less of me. You know what I mean? And that's another thing too, is that casting directors, they don't want people who are confident. They want people who can act. You know, not you know, be like, basically not giving not 110%. You know, because nowadays there's people who give 110%. You know, to acting, and which is great, right? But that's the main thing you really got to have is confidence and understanding what you're getting yourself into.
I wanted to ask you, so you had two really good and common starter jobs.
Sure. Yeah.
One was McDonald's.
Yep.
And the other one was Starbucks.
Yeah.
How? What did you learn from them working there, and spending how many years?
McDonald's was 2
years. Manager, right? That's what.
No. I was a crew. And then
crew leader.
Yeah, and then when I graduated high school, that's when I became manager.
Oh, okay. So you did climb up a little bit up the ladder.
I did. Yeah. I don't really see it that way though, because it's mainly just whoever's there longer, really. You know, because they know how things run. You know, I knew how things run.
Experience then.
Yeah. So, and then obviously they paid a little bit more, so obviously took it.
More responsibilities, more money.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, and obviously, you know, I learned a lot, and yeah, I learned how bad it really is in those types of environment. Starbucks wasn't as bad. It's just, my biggest problem with these kind of jobs is that there's people who there's obviously like the bosses, right? Supervisors and owners and stuff like that, right? They come in, right, and they sit at the top while everyone else just does the dirty work, you know, are the front line of everything. There's people who work 8 hours a day, right, on those kind of jobs and environment, and you know, a part of me believes that they should be paid a lot more, you know, but the other part of me is like, that, you know, well, someone's got to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, McDonald's I would never go back to. Say that right now.
You said Starbucks was a bit better. Now you're talking about like management, or you're just talking about the customers, or everything?
Just in general. No, everything about Starbucks is a lot better than McDonald's. McDonald's is known as like the low class, you know, like very like bottom tier, right? So people who go and expect everything like 100%, right? There are some points where the job employee, someone messes up, right? You know, so
like in anything.
Yeah. But a lot of time the customers, they're just either impatient or they want everything. They want their sandwich 5 stars or something, you know, so then they throw a whole fit about it. So for the most part, you know, the customers were really the ones that were like, I want this now. I want this the best. I want this and for the amount of money, you know, for X amount of money. So that was the main thing that was the problem with it. And then Starbucks, it was really the management that was the problem with for me, because
higher standards.
Yeah, really, it really was. And that goes with a lot of jobs too. I mean, I know that's why like a lot of jobs are, you know, they want everything perfect, shiny, clean, you know, like squeaky clean. They want everything top tier, right? But like, to me, I can do it, you know, I can do my job, right? I can do it, no problem. The thing is though, is that when you want like extremely high standards to the point where the smallest little thing always gets you, right? And then all of a sudden now they're like, I need you to do better. I need to do this and that. That's when I'm just like cutting it. That's where I'm like,
It's too much.
like you're asking for too much, especially for the pay. You know what I mean? Like it's not worth it, that's kind of why I like the job I have now. I was at one point like bumping heads with my boss, but like it's resolved now, it's not as much anymore. And also because it's night crew, right? No one in the store, right? All we're doing is cleaning, stocking shelves. We can be loud as we want. We have our speakers. So, and the people there are just like me. They talk about anime. They talk about what they did with their family, complain about the littlest things, like about a relationship or something, you know what I mean? So we're the same in there, and we don't have to act professional because of other customers or so, that's
it's more lean back, more chill.
Yeah. It obviously gets it doesn't go high standards, but obviously we calm down a bit once the store opens up and customers do come in.
Oh, okay.
Right. But, that's when we like chill out, but like 1, 2 in the morning, we're yelling at each other through the halls, telling our asses to hurry up, yada, yada, yada. But once the store comes up, we clean it up. We're good, 2 more hours and we're out of there, But I mean, McDonald's wasn't hard. It wasn't until the pandemic really hit because that's when
low staffing.
Yeah, no, I talked about this too on my podcast. We had like 80, 90 plus employees, right? As soon as the pandemic hit, we went to like 30. They laid off a good 60 people. All of them got in unemployment, while everyone else who stayed worked 40 hours a week,
And if you're on unemployment at that time, you got the big bucks. Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy that the people that stayed at home and got unemployment got paid more than like people that were actually working.
I know. I mean, and to this day, I've never collected unemployment. We've always had a job. So
I'm proud of you for that.
I was going to say, is that a good thing?
I'm really proud of you for that because you had 2 jobs at that time and you were going to school.
I was going to school, yeah.
And right now you still have 2 other jobs.
Yeah.
You left the corporate restaurant world.
Basically.
And now, but you still got 2 jobs and you still go to school. And I'm really proud of you, bro. Just if you were doing one of the 3, I know how hard it is to just have a job or to just go to school, but you're juggling 2 jobs and school. And I just have to tell you, man, like, I'm really proud of you. Like, good for you.
It's not easy, but when you find a balance, that's going to be the key for all that, because it's easy to get burned out, and I feel it too. There's days where like, all I want to do is like sleep or like lay down. But in a way, I always feel like I don't have time for that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously everyone needs to sleep, right? But I would rather be working on something else than just sleeping. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and sometimes the other way around. I'm like, okay, like, let me rest up now. I work this much. Let me rest. And then I have full energy when I start to come back to my own job, my own work, because, especially even right now, I am like, there's so much I want to do. I have so many plans.
Like as in goals or ideas, plans? What do you mean?
All the above. Plans as in, one thing I really want to do is travel. I definitely want to go places.
Something I think you're on the right path with is you value experiences and memories over materialistic items.
Hell yeah.
And I can tell you now that's what really matters. It's the experiences and memories you create with others, people you love, friends, family, partners, because those are like priceless.
Money's always going to be there. That Gucci bag and that store is always going to be there, right? That Louis Vuitton bag is always going to be there. But one thing we're not going to get back is time.
Yes.
Time is something we're never going to get back.
That's our most valuable asset.
You have 1 year. You have 1 year to be 26. You have 1 year to be 27, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? I have 1 year to. I can't be 18 no more, right? I can't go back to being 12. You know what I mean? I can go ahead and act 12, but with my age now, it's going to just look ridiculous. So, and that's another thing too. That's another thing where that balance and working and all that, right? One thing I learned as like very much was that's all I did, especially when I was working at McDonald's and Starbucks, was 16 hours a day, right? Then pass out and then do it all again, right? 4 in the morning till if I had no school, I would go 4 in the morning all the way up until like 12:30 for McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
And then have either 30 minutes or an hour. And then at 1 or sometimes even right at 12:30, Starbucks, right? And then I'll do that all the way up until 9. And then pass out.
And that was your whole day.
Yeah. I'm going to do it all again, right? I didn't mind that, right? I didn't mind working because, made money.
Yeah.
And that's how I bought all my equipment, all my stuff, right? All my lights and, all that, right? So
Your setup.
Yeah. But one thing that was really like slowly like killing me was the fact that I was working. I was living to work. And the way it should be is you should work to live. The butt.
One more time, please. I like that line a lot.
One thing I've learned is when you're working, you can work 16, 20 hours a day, but you shouldn't be living to work. You should be working to live, because
any job can replace you.
You can be easily replaced with that kind of job, there's some jobs where sure, maybe you can't be irreplaceable, kind of like acting, right? Because if you're a part of a saga, like for example, I don't know his name, but the character who played Harry Potter, like if all of a sudden he don't want to play Harry Potter, then the whole series is going to be in trouble, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things like that,
Yeah. But that's very exceptions to the rules. But most jobs and corporations,
most jobs, entry level jobs, you're easily replaceable.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As much as what's it called? As much as you stay there and as much experience you get, the next person can easily stock your shelf. The next person can cash your drawer. You know what I mean? So that's why I never, at first I was always like, this is my job. Like I'm the best at this. But now I'm just like the next person can do it. You know what I mean? So
you don't take it too seriously.
Yeah, I don't take it as seriously as I should. The things I do take seriously are the things that I'm trying to do. Right. So that's one of my goals is obviously to explore the world. It's a as much as it sucks, it's a beautiful world. There's a lot of cool things to see. Hoping to go out of state, eventually somewhere, because we've only gone to 2 countries, United States and Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And then states, we've been to obviously California,
obviously
Oregon, Washington, and Nevada.
Oh yeah, Las Vegas.
Yeah. That's the only 4 that I've really been to. I want to see what's in Chicago. I want to see what's in New York. I want to see what's in Florida, right?
Even the small states, Nebraska,
Idaho, Illinois. Like I want to see what's over there. You know what I mean? There's I believe every state has something to offer.
100%.
You know, so I just want to explore much more, and then once further in life, then eventually start exploring every other country.
Yeah.
You know, so that's exciting. One thing I'm really interested, but I still have a lot to learn too, is music.
Like as in singing, or what do you mean music?
Making music, like making verses, making my own lyrics, making beats.
You want to sing?
Sing, rap, whatever comes with it, you know?
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a small interest that I'm like working on.
Uh-huh.
Like I have like on my phone, I have some lyrics, right? Or like randomly I just think of a lyric. I think it sounds cool, write it down, and then later work on it, right? But there's I definitely want to like explore that world over there. And then also I've been training a little bit more for soccer too. I'm gonna try out for the team again. See hopefully if that goes well this time.
That's nice. Yeah. I didn't know about these last 2 things about soccer and you wanting to
music.
sing and music. Yeah. Where's this coming from?
It's just exploring, really.
Trying stuff out.
Definitely. And one thing that I've also been doing is writing. A lot more writing.
Like
writing,
books or self-reflection?
Script writing.
Oh, like story plays.
Like, I was like, how interesting would it be to like write a full on like musical or something, write a full story, like a full like short film or I was thinking about this 10-part series that I still have.
Yeah.
But again, it's all in the works, and that's why you don't hear about this because I don't talk about it. I don't like to talk about stuff that I'm working on because then there's a bit of expectation, right?
I see.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather just hold on to it and I don't talk about it until like I'm confident into it. But I'm letting you know now so then you know what I'm working on, and so then check back in me in like 4 or 5 months, and you'll be like, how's this going? How's that going?
Yeah. Kind of like this podcast. I told everybody like at the last week of December, it's currently what, January 20th. So, hey, first episode will be live when you guys are seeing this, but January 20th. But yeah, just do it. Like straight up, that's like really Nike, it. Like Nike, just do it.
I mean, I'm like,
one big piece of advice, and it makes me really happy that you're trying all these different things because you're so young.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Something going back onto what you said about you're only 19 once, you're only 26 once.
Yeah.
I believe the younger you are, it's the best time to fail and try things and go all types of directions. Because I feel like it's a lot harder when you're older, and especially when you have like commitments such as like kids, maybe like a car payment, a house payment, like just things,
stuff,
adulting, right? So right now, take advantage of living with mom and dad, and of like being a lot flexible, being a lot more. You can mess everything up, but you're still gonna have a home. You could, like, you know what I mean? You could fail, lose everything, but you're still gonna have a home. You're still gonna have a truck. You're gonna be all right,
Yeah.
So, and also, I feel like you learn a lot in life through failures. The things I'm learning today are invaluable.
And it's crazy. You're only just gonna learn more.
Yeah.
As you go on, you're gonna learn so much more. Because this is only the recording part of it.
Yes.
Now you're gonna have to have a whole new editing part.
Yeah.
So
for context, one of the camera dies. Our memory cards got full, and that's a big on my part because I'm barely getting started on this, so it's a big learning curve. But I want to go back to what I was telling you on trying new things.
Yeah.
And
real quick before you continue, it's gonna be really cool because once you upload this, and then when you upload like your 20th episode or something, you're gonna look back on episode 1 and be like, damn, look how small it was, look how much I was messing up.
All the L's I was took on the way there.
Yes, but you gotta fail to get yourself better, So, but go ahead. You were saying,
what's at your age, what's the best piece of advice you've gotten that you like really took to heart, or that you like?
Oh, I love this. I love this question. I got this. I remember seeing this on like an Instagram reel, and it's from Eminem, who's by far one of my favorite rappers of all time. I'm not sure if he got it from himself or he got it from someone else, but I heard it from him. And he said one thing you should never do is never compare your life to somebody else's highlight reel. And that's always stuck with me.
I love that.
Never compare your life to somebody else's highlight reel. Because no one's ever going to see your own struggles, your own fights, even if it is just like trying to book a gig, the self-doubt, the coming up of yourself. No one's really going to experience that until they see like a documentary about yourself. You know what I mean? So, and the more you compare, the more you see somebody else and be like, man, they're doing this, they're doing that. They have so many followers for this. They have so many likes because of that. Like, that's when the self-doubt starts,
Yeah.
So just focus on your own race, focus on how you can improve and how better you can do for yourself,
Yeah.
Consistency is a great point thing to have while doing this kind of stuff.
I agree. Well, I feel like a lot of older people I've talked to, that's been like their biggest like challenge in life is having regret or like just doubts because they feel like they left something on the table and now they think it's too late.
Yeah.
And so their advice is always like, don't live life with regret. So
just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Go back to Nike.
Just do it. Sponsor us.
Right. But that's really good. And I just love how you're very open-minded and very you think long term, which I'm very like I'm proud of you, bro.
In a way I do both. I do like I do like to see where it could end up in,
Mhm.
right? But it's not guaranteed, especially this kind of industry, like podcasts and acting and things like that. It's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
What is guaranteed is you getting a job at like McDonald's.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like that's easy, right? Anybody that's entry level, that's guaranteed. You can make $15 an hour, right? But it's not guaranteed that you're going to get the main role of a show.
Mhm.
It's not guaranteed that this is going to take off, but you're trying.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And that's life.
Yeah,
Is taking the risks and not knowing what's on the other side of those risks.
definitely. Yeah.
And I also think that's how you really grow, when you just challenge yourself and do things you're very uncomfortable doing,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be in front of a camera, whether it apply to jobs you have no experience doing, whether it's even talking to somebody, like you're like a girl, you're like a boy, and just going up and approaching them. I'm very
Just do it.
just do it. Yes.
I like that. Just do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. What's it called? Yeah, that's my biggest advice is never compare your life to somebody else's highlight reel. To this day, I think I used to do that. I don't know. I feel like I did, but
I feel like we all did.
yeah, but I don't do that at all.
At some point, you just stop caring.
Yeah,
And you just, it's you versus you.
yeah.
I'm-
That's the biggest challenge is yourself.
And I have these 4 pillars to share with you. So the 4 pillars in life are mental health, physical health, financial health, and spiritual health. I saw my life take the biggest change ever when I started focusing on all 4 of those, and having a balance. Because you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy, what good is it?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
What made you want to start this podcast? Mm-hmm.
I'm very proud of where we come from. Lodi, 209, San Joaquin Valley. And I just feel like we don't get enough love in our surrounding cities. And so I really want to I listen to a lot of entrepreneurs, millionaires, like these YouTubers that are like motivational speakers and self-improvement people. And they're great and all. And they've helped me a lot. But I feel like there's a lot of great people that are our neighbors or really close by.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel through this show, I'm going to be able to get closer to them and network and get to know people I don't think I'd ever in other regards ever meet. So with this show, I hope to meet others, learn, grow, document, because I honestly think this is going to be really cool to look back on in 6, 12, 18 months, 2, 3 years. This is only the first episode. I got 2 other people that said they want to come on. After those 2, that might be it.
Right.
Or it might be a 4th person or a 5th person. It's the unknown. There's a big unknown in starting this, but I definitely know that I'm gonna grow and become a better person. I don't think I'm gonna become a worse person by doing this.
Yeah. No, definitely. And it just seems like it's exciting as well to figure out where this is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Do you just plan on just having one-on-ones or?
For the most part, yeah.
Okay.
For the most part,
That's when you get the more genuine conversation.
Yes. Not that many other factors. Maybe groups or teams.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a co-founders or a duo or something like that, or our partnership, I'd be more than happy to invite them on. But for the most part, I'm starting from people closest to me, and then we'll branch out from there. But I really have no idea where this is
after these 2 more episodes.
Yeah, I have no idea where this is gonna go.
Yeah,
but I don't see it as a bad thing. I'm not trying to get rich and famous. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
right now, that's not really my goal.
That's not my goal either with my stuff. If it comes with it, cool, right?
Mm-hmm.
But acting. YouTube, that's genuinely something I want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of people just look at the fame and think that's it, which, that may be cool for a minute, but once you get that constantly, that's going to make you're just going to change your whole life.
Yes.
And maybe not in a positive way, but
I have a question for you now. What is success to you? What's in your head right now that if I get this or achieve this, I'm good, I'm fulfilled, I'm okay.
Once I can live in my own place comfortably. but think that's it.
Just have your own spot.
Just have my own spot, because there's very much different definitions for success. It's really just, once you're comfortable, once you're comfortable and you're set, maybe not for life, but when you're set for a while, but you don't, I guess you don't really see success until you get it. In a way, you don't, because with acting, like you won't realize how big you get until you get your first break, where people actually can recognize you off the street or something, so that's kind of, and I'm planning on keep on going until again, I can actually make money off of it or something. That's it's really interesting to answer that question, but again, I really don't know.
I honestly asked you that question because I'm gonna ask you like the same question or bring this clip up in a couple of years, and just to see if your answer is the same. Because over time, over the years, you change, and you grow as a person.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So it's very interesting to document this. You being my brother, because I'm always gonna like be around. Yeah. And this conversation meant a lot, and I just want to tell you, like, thank you for coming. Thank you for having me.
It's so cool to see it full circle, because this happened roughly 3 years ago. Yeah. 2019, yeah. Roughly. Yeah. 4 years ago at that point, and it's funny because like I didn't help you pay for any of this kind of stuff. Right. Same way as I got all my stuff on my own. You got all your stuff on your own. Right.
But you inspired me.
You keep me going. So it's a full circle again. I love it, and I'm really excited to see this in 3-4 years, because we're both going to be in very different spots.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for.
100%. I think some progress is better than no progress at all. So keep going in your life. Keep doing yourself. I think you're headed down a good path, a right path, and I'm here if you need anything, man. But from the bottom of my heart, thank you for spending this time with me. I know you got to go work right now. Because I
got a bit of time, but yeah.
You're a hustler, but no, I get it. But thank you for coming, bro. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. This is, and it's weird too, because I'm always the ones with the questions. I'm always the one with like making sure everything's ready. Nah, I got to sit back and enjoy how it is being interviewed. So, it's really cool. Thank you for having me.
If this continues on like in a year or two, I'm gonna have you back on. Yeah. And we're gonna reflect.
Definitely. Definitely.
But only time will tell.
Time will tell.
And then also we'll see what the end result comes out with.
Yeah, and I'm gonna definitely reboot my podcast.
You should. I
think just you should. Again, my focus was definitely like getting a place, making money, and all that. But now that I have a little bit more time, and also it's been a while since I've done one, so I'm definitely gonna have a lot more new stories and I'm probably gonna be a whole different person, from when then. But yeah, it's exciting.
It's all about your priorities.
Definitely,
it's whatever you prioritize. That's what you're gonna do.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you one more time, Carlos. This was episode 1 on the Value Vibes podcast, and we'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.
Later.